welcome to the Motor Up channel. I'm your host, Bobby Lou. On today's episode, we're going to be working on this 2007 Honda 919 Hornet rear shock. It's a pretty basic shock, and we're going to start with that. There are far more basic shocks than this, but in terms of a serviceable shock, this is as basic as it comes. So we're going to disassemble it. We are going to clean it. We're going to replace parts, bleed it, pressurize, and put it back together. We're also going to be experimenting with a new camera mount. This is a neck mount, so we can have a first-person view of exactly what we're doing, and that way everybody can see everything clearly. Let's get started. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the spring compressor. We're going to compress the spring to the point where we can pull these spacers out, and then we're going to release. Once we've released the pressure, we can remove the shock. Just grab all the parts. Let's grab the rag. Alright, we're going to take the spring, collar, and spacers and just leave them there. We're going to take the shock, put it on a vise. We're going to take a screwdriver, and what I like to do is check where the rebound was at. It was at one turn, and then we're going to fully open it. But what we need to do is check the range. So full open. Half one, half two, half three. So 3 full revolutions. So when we take it apart, we want to make sure we install it back together, reassemble it back together with 3 full turns. So we're just going to open it all the way before we depressurize. So now we're going to take a drill and we're going to drill into this cap, because this shock is technically not serviceable. They don't want you servicing it, but we're going to do it anyways. So we're going to pretty much didn't have any pressure in it. Pop that guy down. Grab a tool to remove this retaining clip. Set that to the side. Let's try to clean this up a little bit. Just like that. Set that up to the side. So now you'll see there is a bladder in here, and this is a reverse style bladder. Typically the bladder is on the cap like this and it sits like this, but in this case it sits like that. But with the new Racetech bladder cap, we're going to convert it back to a traditional style. So basically we're going to be setting it up like this, and this O-ring that comes in the Racetech kit actually sits right down there. Alright, so now it's depressurized. Let's take a chisel, and then there's a little spot right here. Work your way around. Not so sure about this camera mount. It's really hard to actually focus on the work I'm doing. It seems to always be pointing in the wrong direction. Alright, so now, since this shock hasn't been opened in a while, or ever, let's do a little bit of penetrating oil in there. And maybe we can take 2 flat blade screwdrivers, and we're going to push down on that, push the seal head down just like that. And we're going to grab this tool and we're going to fish out. There we go. Pull that to the side. Okay. So what I like to do now is remove this bearing. Make sure that these needles don't fall out. Nope, they're good. So what we're going to do, typically I like to pull the compression adjuster out to relieve any pressure, any vacuum that's in there. But since there's no compression adjuster on this, we're just going to do it this way. So we're just going to take a rubber mallet. We're just going to tap on it. We're just trying to get the seal head out. There's an O-ring. Like that. So now, very carefully, just rocking back and forth, we're going to pull the piston assembly out, and then we're going to dump the oil. Okay, now we're going to push this down. It's a little tight. Okay, let's take some penetrating oil. Spray that. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Push that down. You can take a screwdriver. Just push it down like that. There's another clip in here. Grab that retaining clip and put it off to the side. Now, put that off to the side. Let's pull this out. There we go. Alright, so there's your bladder. Oops. It's been a little bit of a mess. Alright, so now you let it drain and clean everything up. Alright, so what we want to do now is we want to replace the seals in the seal head. We want to polish the shaft, clean everything up, but in order to get all that out, we have to grind away this peening that the manufacturer left us. But you can't just grind it flat on these. On KYBs, sure, but on SHOWAs, you cannot just grind it flat because this inner piece here is going to just fall right out. So what we have to do is we have to remove the bottom, remove the rod, and then I have a special tool to clean up this peening, and it allows us to remove the nut without damaging anything. So we're going to put it on the vise here. We're going to take some heat. We're going to very carefully heat up this area right here without heating up and melting the front stop. We're going to take a 22mm wrench. Just like that. That was actually really easy. So we're just going to unscrew this. There we go. Careful, it's hot. And then we're going to pull out this rebound rod. Just like that. This guy off to the side here. Oops. Alright, so now grind this peening off. I've got this cool tool from Later Suspension. Put it on a drill. Just like that. Let's go a little bit more. Perfect. Just like that. Let's grab a 17 wrench. And now, boom. Look how easy that was. Love it. So we'll take the entire, I'm going to show you an easier way to do that so you don't mess up. Grab a little wire or something like this so you don't lose anything, and lay it out exactly the way you pull it off. All goes there. Let's clean this up a little bit. Alright, so now let's remove the seal head, cap, bump stop. So what I like to do is take this clamp, tighten it right there, take the 22, and remove this lock nut just so we can clean everything. Alright, so now we clean everything thoroughly, we inspect everything, and we're going to measure the shims, write them down, and then we're going to put everything back together. Take some Scotch-Brite. Alright, now let's disassemble the seal head. Now the O-ring is off, the dust seal is off. Bump stop, the top out bumper, spacer, oil seal, shim. So now we are going to remove this DU bushing, just like that. Oh, so the only parts we're going to reuse out of the seal head is the actual seal head, spacer, and shim. Alright, so now we're going to reinstall this DU bushing. So since there's a little lip in here, obviously it only goes in one way. It goes in the way it came out. Let's see. Let's take our tool, make sure it's square. Oh, sometimes you got to go in the other direction. You got to flip the tool, just like that. Perfect. So now we will take the shim, new seal, spacer. We're going to reuse this top out bumper. It's a good shape. Just like that. I'm going to put a new O-ring on the outer diameter. And we're going to take the dust seal. We got this other tool here that helps us. Oh, there you go. All right, so now we are going to reinstall this. All right, let's get the lock nut all the way to the bottom. Get our rebound rod, grab some lube, lube up the O-ring, lube up the rod, just like that. Just like that. Let's get some Loctite. Put a dab of Loctite on the threads. And we're going to set the rebound. So it's full soft, full counterclockwise. We're going to go clockwise 3 turns. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. Go until it bottoms. Once it bottoms, the lock nut needs to go up. So now we're going to take our Knipex pliers, favorite pliers in the entire world, and we're just going to snug these two together. Just like that. Now we're going to confirm we have 3 turns. So that's fully closed. Let's go. Still getting used to this mount. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. Good. All right. Now, once we've counted it, we've opened it, let's go in here, see if this will work, and push the rebound rod all the way down. This makes it easier to bleed. Alright, so now that that's done, we can take the bumper, can take the cap, okay, slide that out like so. Okay, now let's look for my seal bullet. Put that on like so. Let's take the new seal head. Let's put a little bit of a grease. Don't want to shove it on dry. Just like that. Boom. Easy. that away. So now we're going to measure and take notes of the shims. So let's start off by cleaning the base plate. Put it there. These are just spacing shims. They mean absolutely nothing. They just take up space. Now, this is your clamp shim for your compression. This is your compression stack. This is your rebound stack. So this shim, the entire shim stack, wraps around this shim. You can make a big change in not just low speed and high speed and mid speed. Low speed, mid speed, and high speed. You can make a huge change throughout the entire range by just changing the size, the diameter of the clamp. So right now it's a 14 millimeter. We can go to a 15 or 16 and we can make a huge change in the entire range of the low speed, mid speed, and high speed. There's a lot more to it. We'll talk about that at a later date, later episode. So let's just measure the shims. So this is more your low speed. So this is a 0.15 by 34, and they're all going to be 12 millimeter ID. So 0.15 by 34, 0.15 by 34, 0.15 by 34. So essentially we measure these shims, take notes of them, just in case later on down the line the customer wants a revalve, so we can have the settings written down and I can come up with a better valve stack that'll work better for him. Alright, so now let's put the valving back in. So we're going to put the clamp ship back on, and essentially we're just going to take that. We're going to take all these shims, put them back on this rod. I'm going to hold it like this so we don't lose them. I'm going to reinstall them. Boom. Okay. What I like to do as well is take the piston and resurface it. Do a figure of 8 on a smooth, very flat surface. Just like that. There we go. Out. Cleaner. Okay, I'll do the same to the rebound. This time we're going to start from the top. Let's close this. Just like that. Now we're going to grab new lock nut. These are KYB. These gold ones are SHOWA. And we're going to tighten these to 25 foot-pounds. Beautiful. Just ready to go. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're almost done here. We're going to take that new O-ring that came with the Race Tech bladder, because we are changing the orientation of the way the bladder sits. Typically the bladder sits like this, like that, and then the cap's here. But we're going to switch that over. We're going to have it the opposite direction like that, just like most other shocks. So let's take some grease. Let's slide this guy on like so. There you go. Slide that guy on like that. Let's take the retaining clip. Just like that. Boom. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to bleed this one by hand. We cannot bleed it with the vacuum bleeder because this piece gets sucked in, and then when it forces compressed air, forces oil into the shock, it doesn't actually push this square and oil starts to leak out. So we're going to have to bleed this by hand. No big deal. So what we want to do first is take our bladder. We're going to grease it up. Just like that. Take our bladder cap. Just like that. I usually like to turn it. Just like that. Let's take the Schrader valve out. Okay, now bladder cap tool. Okay, now take some oil, and we're going to start by putting oil in from the bladder side. That. We are going to make a little bit of a mess here. So what we're trying to do, trying to get the oil to bleed all the way up into here. You see it's coming. You want to do it this way just to make the whole process a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. Just like that. Grab your retaining clip. Just like that. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to pressurize the bladder with just line pressure to push any air bubbles out. You can usually see if there's any air. Nope, we did a good job. So there's no air in the system, in the lines. So now what we want to do, put the Schrader valve back on. And let's pressurize this. Okay. All right, so now that there's line pressure in the bladder, let's take this towel and wrap it around like this. So now with the rebound fully opened and the rod needle all the way down, we can start bleeding it. Let's see how much oil we have. Let's go a little bit more. Let's get it to right about here. Like that. And then we're going to take piston. I could have done a little bit less, but it's okay. We're just wasting a little bit of oil. All right, now we're just going to purge any air out that's trapped in between the shims, the low-speed bleed. We're just going to pump it back and forth. And when we go up, we're going to go really slowly, and we're just going to rock it like this. When we're going down, we can actually tap it with a rubber mallet, just like that. And then we go up. Just want to go slow because you don't want it to cavitate. It'll cavitate. Oh, we just sucked in a little air. There's little holes right there. You want to make sure you don't expose those to the air. So you want to make sure you go slow because that rebound needle can get pushed up and then it'll start to cavitate. But under compression, it'll stay closed or open. Just like that. Just do this until you don't see any more air bubbles. I still see some, obviously, right there. Let's go slow, up and down. Up and down. All right, I think we're good. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. So now we are going to depressurize. Okay. It seems like there's some vacuum in here. It wants to pull this in, and it wants to pull this bladder cap in. So just make sure both ends are fully out. And then now, let's put some more oil in here, up to the top. And what you want to do is make sure that oil overflows, just like that. It's a little bit of a mess past the O-ring, because if that doesn't happen, you're introducing air into the system. Just like that. Take our retaining clip. Go until it clicks. And good there. All right, so now we're going to take it to the nitrogen. We're going to put Schrader valve back in. Like that. push on it. Okay, good to go. Now let's put it back together. All right, now make sure everything is wiped off. Good. We're gonna take rubber mallet, tap this guy on. There's the cap. There we go. Just like that. Let's confirm it works. Oh yeah. Boom. Oh yeah. All right, so now we're gonna put the spring back on. This goes in like this. That goes in like that. Now take it to the spring compressor. That. Close that guy. Just like that. Just like that. There we go. Now, let's set the rebound. Full closed, we're going to go 1.5, 1, 1.5. I'm going to start there. And then we're going to take the preload adjuster. Let's flip this guy over. And then we're going to go, we're just going to start in like the middle setting. Right there, should be fine. Set the sag when we're done. Let's put the cap back on here. And there you have it. Not a bad view. I was here, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago working on this bike. Did the fork service. Now, just finished the shock service on this 2007 Honda 919. Race Tech bladder cap, fresh seals, fresh oil, fresh nitrogen. This thing is all dialed in, front and rear. Really clean bike.